Hello there, BoBo the Bitcoiner is back. Inevitably, Bitcoin will be the gateway for all transactions. We live in a world where we don't have much of a choice anymore, where more or less everything is dictated or commanded by someone up above or above us. We thought we are smart enough, but somebody above thinks they are smarter, and you should listen to their expectation for your own interests. That person up above is the authority. They created rules for everyone's interest. Like you should cross the road at the traffic light junction or pedestrian bridge for your own safety. Good. What about you can only buy a car with a COE certificate? Is the binding system fair? What about the electorate boundary shifting every election? Who decide them? Now, you see my point, right? Sure, rules and regulation is necessary for an organized society. Question is, who decide the rule and regulation? We have taken for granted and accepted blindly that whatever authority say has to be good for us. Without the consensus needs to question our own logic, expectation, and common sense, ultimately turning our life into an assumption or a hypothesis. Authority always starts with a good intention, but ends up being misled by the inconsiderate, then finally hijacked or corrupted by double-crosser. Worse off, we elected the authority. We are brainwashed to accept fiat currency on its face value, especially the reserve US dollar currency. We are made to believe that money in the bank is safe and secure. We trust at face value the government is there to protect our interests, forgetting that they have to protect themselves first. Worse, they enrich themselves first before the majority common people continue to be poor. This is the kind of world we are in today, like it or not. Okay. Question is, are we supposed to continue living in this way, in someone's authoritative dictatorship throughout our life? The bigger question is, do we have an alternative? I believe we have. Bitcoin protocol has proven for the last 14 years everything functions like a clockwork without skipping a second, except for those in authority is still claiming Bitcoin is a scam. The general public are beginning to understand and appreciate Bitcoin through technology. On the ground level, okay, everyone still think Bitcoin is a scam. To be clear, the downfall of Terra, Luna, Three Arrow, FTX, FTT, Genesis, etc. all has nothing to do with Bitcoin as an asset or as a technology. All this can be classified as scam, all right. The collapse of the regional banks in USA also had nothing to do with Bitcoin as an asset. The problem is due to the sudden rise of the exchange rate by the Federal Reserve. Since the exchange last year and the bank collapsed this year, Bitcoin ecosystem continue to operate normally without any transaction being disrupted. I believe most of retail investors understood this very well by now. All right. The next level is the financial institutions, be it small offices, fund management, and institutional investors. They are blinded, or should I say, not allowed to invest by the authority. The traditional finance system are full of potholes. Authority has to come in to patch up those holes. Then more potholes surface, designed by human. Then more authority intervention. A no-ending game. Most typical is the real estate mortgage crisis in 2009, fabricated by the banker. Authority has to scramble to recover the financial market, finally resorting to print endlessly the paper money, resulting in a debt which is impossible to recover. Let me show this graphic. Look at this chart. Ridiculous, what you call debts. All right, from $5 trillion in 2009, all right, to 31 trillion today. In 200 years, not much debts. Until suddenly, in 2009, it shoot up to $31 trillion in just 14 years. Quite a ridiculous situation, right? Now, from there on, authority impose all kinds of man-made control, like KYC, know your customer, AML, anti-money laundering, CDD, customer due diligence, etc. Every bank has to go through ridiculous exercise to check every transaction, to the extent that if you want to send $5,000 to someone, you are subject to all kinds of questioning. Worse, if they feel suspicious, you can be stopped from transacting. Bearing in mind, this is your money, money you actually lend to the bank, yet you cannot withdraw in times of needs. The decent institutions are finding this very restrictive to conduct a decent business without the authority interaction. The feeling of financial institution is too much control, too restrictive, making a transaction not only incur unnecessary compliance, high costs, but slow down the business, which in today's world, everything needs to be fast and cheap. Unfortunately, all institutions are hand-tied. Given a choice, many would like to dip their toe into the crypto arena. After all, their rice bowl is depending on making the profit for their client, right? They don't buy to take a small gamble. All right. No venture, no gain. Maybe 5% of the portfolio. They realize there are huge potential of high return in the crypto world. They are competing among themselves to serve their customer or their client better. So, what stopped them from dipping their toe into crypto? The authority, of course. You can assume financial institutions come under extra compliances, especially after the 2009 mortgage crisis. Every move they make is subject to heavy scrutiny. They are very much afraid to go near the crypto market even to avoid being questioned and investigated. Look at Coinbase. An approved public listed company is now being sued by the SEC. A legitimate crypto business, yet targeted by the authority. What more if you are just an ordinary private limited company or a public listed company? Can you afford to fight the authority machinery? Better to wait on the sideline despite the attractive return, right? So, only a few institutions dare to touch the crypto market, and they have to navigate very cautiously. An early one is Grayscale. They package Bitcoin into an investment product rather than sports asset. We also have Infinity. All right. The most adventurous one is MicroStrategy. Very smart guy who so far avoided conflict with the authority. Michael Saylor managed to maneuver himself that even his own board of directors supported him wholeheartedly. We or you can be assured the authority is watching him like a hawk. Every single mistake or misstep, they will be strangling his throat. It is clear that authority is exercising their Operation Choke Point 2.0 to make it difficult for American, be it retail or institution, to invest in Bitcoin. To ban Bitcoin, it may take too long or too complicated an exercise through the legislation, as the US law by itself is also disputable. So it's easier to twist the law to rough up the players with this encouragement. That's what the authority is doing now. Everybody knows the motive of US authority. By hook or by crook, they must protect the US dollars, reserve currency, which give them the advantage and the privilege for so many decades now. But Bitcoin is not going away. Even if US were to cut off its Bitcoin facilities, the world will move on without them once their US dollar reserve currency is weakened. We can see that while the US is imposing the Operation Choke Point 2.0 on crypto, other countries, including the allies in UK, is capitalizing on it, not to mention including the European and the rest of the world. The world recognized the neutrality of Bitcoin ecosystem, a technology that is simply better than any man-made authority system. But Bitcoin not only get rid of the authority system on finance or transaction, but also on fairness, where everything is decided by the rule-based protocol, like the consensus majority, right? No one single or group of authority can decide. You also do not need the permission to transfer $5,000 or even millions if you wish, if you so wish, right? Bitcoin is a freedom of speech and movement. So, come a time, Bitcoin will be the gateway for all transactions in the future. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.